Hey guys, it's Sribomi here. I'm going to share a bit more of a personal story today, as a lot of you guys have asked me why I hated China so much. Because I mentioned in my previous video that I hated my time there. I had a horrible year there. So yeah, let's just jump start to it. First of all, the air pollution. I assume that a lot of you guys already know and have heard about the air pollution in China. And it is really bad, like really bad. Like how can I explain this? So I had a flatmate in Beijing. She was working for a German company, and she explained to me one day, for example, in Germany, if the AQI, which is air quality index, the level of air pollution, if it goes up to like 50 or something, the companies and schools close down there. But then in China, in Beijing where I lived, the average AQI was like 200 something or more. And in the winter time it was worse because it soared up to like 1,000. Really, I couldn't breathe. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, so I'm not a very sensitive person at all. But when I tried to sleep there, I could smell the ozone gas. Although I closed all the windows, the curtains as well, somehow the ozone gas just smeared into the window, and it bugged me so bad. It smells like steel or something like that. I just couldn't sleep. So then I bought the second-hand air purifier for $100, and it didn't get rid of the smell. So I had to buy another air purifier, which was like made in Switzerland and cost like $500, but it worked. It got rid of the smell, so finally I could sleep. But then without it, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how I could survive there. Also, I would say in Beijing I was very like sun deprived. Before China, I was living in Tanzania and Spain, and these countries are full of sun, right? But then in China, as the smog just covers the air, I couldn't really see the sun. I mean, I just couldn't get used to it. Okay, so one day I decided to work out outside of my apartment, and there was this little stream alongside my apartment, so I was just like, oh, why not run there? But then when I actually went there and started running, I had to come back home like after 1 or 2 minutes. Because, you know what? All the fish there in the stream were dead, and they stank so bad. Like, I couldn't breathe at all. So I just had to come back home. So sad. So that's what the air pollution does. And I had to also wear this mask with a air filter. It was so uncomfortable. Like, you know, whether it's winter or summer, it would be always like moist. I don't know if you like this word, moist, but yeah, it was like so full of it like all the time, and it just made me feel very uncomfortable. Second, my work. So just to tell you some background, I wanted to go to grad school in the United States back then. And you know, the grad schools in the States cost a lot of money. So my younger self thought like, okay, even before you apply to the school, even before you get accepted, you need to earn that money. So I started working at this Hagwon, which is like an English private academy, and it was for Korean students living in Beijing. First, I must say that I am strongly against the Korean education system and how Korean tiger moms just put their children, even after school, in like English private academies so that their kids can improve their English as much as possible when they're young. But somehow that's where I ended up at, because I wanted to make money. Remember, I wanted to make a lot of money to go to grad school. Okay, so this means that I was working from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday. When my friends were working, I was just hanging around. When my friends were playing, I was working. I'm a big social butterfly, and I get energy from being around people. But then here I am, having almost no time to socialize, getting lonely, Okay, maybe if I was in my home country, it would have been a bit different, but then I was abroad, which made me more lonely. And working like this didn't allow me much time to think about, look back on why I started this, why I chose to do this. I just kind of started forgetting about why I came here to Beijing. I was too tired to think about it. Then from Saturday night to Sunday night, I would go out to relieve my stress. Well, I like dancing. I love dancing, and I still do. And one Saturday night, I went out with my flatmate and her friends, and after a few hours of clubbing, I decided to go home. But then I started hearing this kind of sound, which is normal. Like when I went out, the sound usually went away in about like 3 or 4 hours, so I didn't really care so much. But then this time, strangely, the sound didn't go away even after like 3 weeks. And I told you, I'm not a very sensitive person, so I didn't really realize that until I talked to one of my friends on the phone, and when I put the phone on my right ear, the sound got distorted. So I ran to the doctor, and he tells me, "Why did you come so late?" Because the ear cells can only be recovered in 2 weeks. And I was late. But still, the doctor and I tried every possible measure to restore my ear, but it didn't happen. So that was towards the end of my year in China. And like I didn't hate China enough, China just left a scar or tattoo inside my ear. I thought I could escape from China once I left China, but now with this tinnitus in my ear, China is just forever here or here. So when I finally came back to Korea from China, for about a month I was very depressed because of the tinnitus. But also being like that for a month, I was sick of being so helpless. So what I did was to move my focus to more positive sides. So I started to think like, okay, I lost my hearing in my right ear, but not all, just low frequency. And it's not even both ears. So I could still hear everything in my life. Also, when I thought about it, the tinnitus was not that bad either. What do they say? If you can't avoid it, enjoy it. That was my motto. I started to realize that the tinnitus in my ear actually sounds like some beach wave sound. So I told myself, wow, this must be a gift from God, because like he knows that I love the beach. So he now even put it in my right ear as the background music 24/7. Then it really sounded like it, as I believe so. And also, since I decided not get bothered by it so much, although the sound is still there, I'm not conscious of the sound most of the time. Now, I was also thankful that I got to learn how inconvenient it would be actually for people who are totally deaf or have problems with ears. Yeah, although the hearing loss was small, I could still understand now and connect with them on a more deeper level. And you know what's so great about this? I started appreciating all the sounds I heard. Maybe like 2 months into having this tinnitus, I went to this piano concert and I started getting really teary because the piano sound was so beautiful. If I had not experienced this hearing loss, I would not have learned to appreciate the music that much. So this way, as I was learning to be grateful, I started forgiving China little by little. I hated China for the horrible air pollution, but now I'm grateful that I experienced firsthand the direct effects of our unconscious actions on the environment. And I realized that we need to take action now. Also, I hated China because of the work I did there. But now I'm grateful for the experience again because now I know what I need to prioritize in my life. I learned that, okay, work and money, they are very important. They're good to have, but never ever again to prioritize them over my rest, my social life, and health. Now you see why I hated China so much, but at the same time, I'm grateful for China. Well, but still my plan is to never go to even a Chinese-speaking country for the next 10 years at least. But who knows? And I must admit that I love and miss the Chinese food. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to my story and I'll see you soon. Ciao!